Should you rehire someone who left for a competitor? Ram Kapoor and his brother Sayam were returning home after celebrating Holi, the festival of colors in India. Ram's phone rang just as they walked through the door, and he showed Sayam the caller's name, Harry. "Why is he calling you on Holi?" his brother asked, surprised. "A job, I think," Ram replied. "We've been back in touch." "No way! He left you! You swore you'd never speak to him again." Ram was the founder and CEO of Green Impact Consulting. Harry had been Ram's right hand at Green Impact. Friends and allies, they had been the perfect team. Ram had believed they were capable of growing Green Impact into one of the top 3 sustainable building consultancies in India. But then Harry walked into his office and said he was leaving for personal reasons, only to turn up at a larger competitor, the Sustainable Impact Group. Of course, Ram knew it was the risk of being an entrepreneur in India. The talent market was so tight that strong employees were often poached from small companies by more successful ones. But he still couldn't help feeling betrayed. Harry's unexpected departure left Ram in charge of both the office and field teams. He had to focus on serving existing clients and retaining his employees. He even had to raise salaries across the board to make sure others didn't follow Harry's footsteps. But he had no time for marketing and barely kept the business going. He put on a brave face for everyone, but only his brother knew how hard he struggled and how hurt he'd been. "I can't believe you would speak to him." Shyam shook his head. I know, Ram said. "He really let me and the company down, but he was a great employee and a friend. I have to at least consider it." "He stabbed you in the back," Sayam said. "He abandoned you for more money and travel without thinking twice about Green Impact's mission or your friendship. You can't trust him. Besides, your business is doing great now. You don't need him anymore." Indeed, after an extremely difficult year, Ram had been able to get Green Impact back on track. 2 of the civil engineers, Preeti and Tuli, were much less experienced than Harry had been, but after intensive training, they'd been able to fill the void that he left. Recently, though, Ram has started to consider expansion, perhaps into the Middle East. But he wasn't sure that this young team could keep the business thriving if he took his focus off day-to-day operations. "Harry may be the only one who can help me take the business to the next level," he told Sayam. His brother scoffed. "This city is full of talented, competent people. There is no way that deserter is your only option." What's best for the business? 3 days later, Ram was back in the office. He returned Harry's call and the two finally discussed what was on Harry's mind. He missed the tight-knit culture at Green Impact, and he was exhausted from the travel and long hours at his new job. He had been wooed by the 75% salary increase and the opportunity to travel, but he wanted to feel like he was helping to build something again, not just keep someone else's business running. Ram had started to get excited but yet wonder about the disruption it would cause. When Ram opened his email, he saw a message from Preeti saying that she and Tuli was hoping to talk to him. Sure, he replied, and moments later they were in his office. He could tell immediately by the uncomfortable looks on their faces that something was up. Tuli blurted out, "We know about Harry." Well, Ram tried not to react, but he could feel his eye twitching. It was amazing how quickly gossip traveled in the business. "We just wanted to let you know that the staff is keen on the idea that Harry might come back to work here. It will make the Middle East a possibility." Ram hadn't expected a welcome attitude toward Harry's potential return, especially not from Preeti, who was now in the role Harry had vacated. "You're saying the staff has talked about this?" Ram asked. "Most of us," Tuli said. "And you're all in favor of rehiring Harry? Even though that would mean that we need to restructure your team, and you're likely to have to give up some of your projects. We know that things might be uncomfortable in the short term, but we think it would be the best for the business. He was excellent at his job. Yes, he left us, but think of the market intelligence he would bring us if he returns." Ram nodded. The team was thinking strategically, which he appreciated. But then he realized something. Tuli had been doing all the talking. "Are you on board with this, Preeti?" he asked. "I want what's best for the business." She paused, glanced nervously at Tuli, and then continued. "Of course, I have some reservations. Yes, he left a big gap initially, but we have filled it, and we've been fine without him. In the past few months, we've been more than fine." "Don't you think he could help us do even better?" Ram asked. "I worry how co-workers will treat him. They mostly say they're fine with Harry's being part of the team again, but when he left, a lot of us said harsh things about him. Some people were and may still be very mad." Preeti raised a good point. Could he really welcome Harry back with no resentment? What message would Ram send to the employees if he took Harry back? And could he really put his faith in someone who had left him in the lurch? Would he always be wondering when Harry was going to jump ship for a better opportunity? "That's what we do here." "Of course you will take him back. That's what we do here in India. We forgive. We give people second chances. I would take you back in a heartbeat." Ram was having lunch with his mentor Mohan, who had employed Ram right out of the university. Mohan had taken him under his wing, eventually encouraging him to leave and start his own company. "This is what the big companies do too. Boomerang talent. Microsoft, McKinsey, they welcome people back after they've gone off and worked elsewhere, knowing that they bring with them new knowledge, expertise, or even intelligence about competitors." "So I should just give him his job again, no question asked?" Ram asked. "Well, not so fast. Why did he leave in the first place? He initially said personal reasons, right?" "Yes, but he's being more honest with me now. He admitted they gave him a significant raise and promised the opportunity to travel." "Right, and he probably experienced a significant increase in his workload too. You know as well as I do that the same thing is happening all over India now. These big firms have deep pockets, but they also expect people to work 70 hours a week." "He mentioned that," Ram said, "but he said he really misses the camaraderie and the startup spirit." "I'm guessing it's more about the flexibility and work-life balance he'll have back with you. Or he's sick of being a cog in the consulting wheel and he wants to lead a team again, calling the shots." Or maybe he just couldn't cut it at the other firm. Ram had thought of that. Maybe Harry had been fired. Did Green Impact want another company's cast-offs? Was he really as good as Rams remembered? I do think having him back would be good for Green Impact and for you, Mohan said. But I also understand that you worry. It sounds like you don't entirely trust him anymore. If you bring him back, you have to completely let go of your hurt and anger. Can you do that? I thought I could, but now I'm not so sure.